All right, this is my review for Avatar: Fire and Ash. All right, so we made it to Avatar 3. I don't know if they're gonna make two more. There's rumors that James Cameron wanted to make, I think, two more to close up everything. But interesting enough, this film closes off a lot of arcs, and if they didn't make any more, I wouldn't be mad. They do have a good enough conclusion. The only thing I would say, without spoiling anything about that conclusion, is I wish. Actually, nah, I can't even say what I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say is a lot of arcs conclude, and characters may be lost. Some characters may survive. But the point I'm trying to make is I did enjoy it. I did enjoy this film. And what I would recommend is see, pretty much all of it is in 3D. A lot of showings, but I feel like even the IMAX is in 3D. And the Dolby Atmos is in 3D. This film actually does not need the 3D. The movie is good, but I think 1 and 2 served itself really well with the 3D. This one, I didn't really see a lot of elements and parts of it where I was like, oh, look at the 3D. It was more, most of the time I kind of lifted up my glasses a little bit because with 3D glasses, and the 3D glasses in particular, the special ones they use for these films, they cut the color a little bit when you put the glasses on. So I lift up my glasses a little bit to really see the vibrance of the colors. And I think I would like to see it again. And not in 3, so I could really see the color and the beauty of it. So I did enjoy it. What I will say is, it's interesting how James Cameron does this. He makes a 3-hour movie feel like 1 hour and 30 minutes. Like I did not feel tired. I didn't feel at any point in the movie I felt like I was bored. I wasn't bored the whole movie. I was locked in the whole time. So the time flew by. But even though the time flew by, I will say this for people who might not fly by forward. I feel like he definitely could have cut out like 30, maybe 35 minutes of this film. The reason I say that is because there's some elements in this film where I feel like he showed us some stuff that I don't think served the actual story. Most of the story beats and the time that he spent with certain characters when we got the certain payoffs later in the film, those stuff yet keep in. But there's a lot of stuff where he really could have cut out 30 minutes of this film. And I think because he loves it so much and he spent so much time on it, that he's like loving his baby, he's having a hard time cutting. Obviously, I know this film was probably like 6 hours and he had to cut it all the way 3 hours and like 15 minutes. I get it. But I felt like he could have cut out a little bit more. But the point I'm trying to make is, even though it's long, it didn't feel long. I felt like I watched a movie that was an hour and 30 minutes. Like it was very, if you like Avatar and you like the world, you're gonna love it, is what I would think. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if they're gonna make more. I know he has hopes on making, I think, 2 more, but I don't know if they'll do it. But because the way this ends, like I said, it gives a lot of natural conclusions to certain characters and certain things. And I heard there's rumors about maybe at some point, maybe having one of the films happen on Earth or something, or them going to Earth. I don't know how they would do that. If they do, that's cool, I guess. But I think if this is the last one, I think what they could have did a little bit at the end, I would have liked, is to see. I don't know. I gotta see it again because I don't want to. Because here's the thing: in the first Avatar, you see all the bases that humans make and stuff like this. All I'm gonna say is that in the conclusion of this, some characters are lost, some characters you love, some characters may not love. And it's interesting because when I went into this film, I said, I don't know if I could taking out some of these people. Like part 2, really affected me a bit because I have brothers, and when that kid lost his brother in part 2, I was like, damn. I didn't cry, but I felt it. I actually felt it, like when it happened, because I was just like, if that was my brother, like I remember sometimes I was a knucklehead, and my older brother was like, or I'm an older brother as well. I have 3 brothers, but the point I'm trying to make is, if something happened to your brother and you feel like it was your fault, I could understand that. And in this one, the family dynamic is strong, and when certain stuff happens to certain people, it's good. But I just feel like we've been watching these characters for a while. It's like basically the longest running TV show. It's a movie series, but it feels like a TV show because it's so long, and I just felt we know so much about these characters already in this world. I will say it was nice going back to Pandora. He does add certain things to some of the action sequences that bring this film a step above some of the others, I think. And I think this was probably the one that had, part one had a lot of action. Both of them have a lot of action, but in this, I don't know. I think he went a little bit harder with action, just a little bit more, because certain things, certain conclusions, certain battles are fought, big battles. And there's big battles in every one, but in this one, I think he really went hard with the action, and I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it. Like I said, I want to see it again. I want to see it again to kind of digest some of it. And he shoots it in a way where it's like I believe a high frame rate, so his films look a little bit different than other people. Once you get used to it, my eye got used to like how it looks, and then I was locked in. But it is a little bit in the beginning of the movie, it kind of feels almost like so smooth, and my brain had to get used to it. Other than that, I'm gonna say I think I'm a little spoiled because, like I said, I enjoyed this film, but since it's the third film in this iteration of Avatar films, I can understand people seeing this and saying, "Oh, I've seen it already." You know what I mean? Because they've seen part one and they've seen part two. So, but the thing is, the story is different. There is elements of the story that may be the same, that some repeating beats from the other Avatar movies. But what I would say is, them having this new villain, the Ash Clan, that is what really makes this movie sing. And it makes this movie, I think, better than the rest of them a little bit. I like part one and I like part two as well, but this villain, I love this villain. A great movie is sometimes only as good as this villain. And I really like this character. I really like her. I'm not going to say she died or not, but all I'm going to say is I like the Ash Clan. And if they could bring the Ash Clan back, or obviously we don't want them to be trouble all the time, but the point is, I like the dynamic and the duality of seeing different types of people on Pandora. And I know that there's other clans. And we kind of touched on some of the other clans in part one when he goes to get help and stuff like that. So if you see some of these other clans in this one, it's cool, but I just think that I just like seeing the different variations of clans. And I like the Ash Clan. I don't like them like as people, but, or as not Na'vi, but I like their presence. And it adds something different to this film that the others didn't have, like Na'vi or Na'vi, basically war and stuff like that, and how they learn about different things like bullets and seeing if they're going to adapt to this world that the humans are bringing to them. But I did enjoy it, and like I said, interesting enough, I would like to see it again, even though it's that long. And I know when I see it the second time, maybe it'll feel longer, but sometimes when you see a movie, when you know stuff, it feels faster, but sometimes it doesn't. It really depends. But there was a point where I did go to the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom for a long time, but I normally don't do that, but I did have to, so I did have to go to the bathroom. But the point I'm trying to say is, I'm looking forward to seeing that little piece that I missed, that little 5 or 6 minutes I was out. So it was good. I think if you like Avatar, you're gonna love it. And I do think that these movies excel at giving you a great experience. Like, I felt like I had a full meal when this movie was done. I felt satisfied. I didn't feel like anything was left out. That's why I feel like if he doesn't make any more, I'm fine with this ending the trilogy. Like, it does a good job of tying a lot of arcs up. So I did appreciate that. The last thing I'll say is, I gotta look up how long they made this film, or how many years ago they made it. It might have been 4 or 5. I don't know how many years they made it, but I know that there's some actors in this film who you've seen in the first one. So I'm curious if, I'm sure they did. James Cameron is smart and he knows how to save money, even though these movies have a lot of money. So I'm sure he probably shot some stuff in the first film that I don't know how far ahead he was of the game, but there are certain actors, I would say, from the first film that you'll see, and I'm curious if they shot it way back when, because they look pretty much the same. I know technology is really good with the de-aging and stuff like that, but yeah. And one last thing I will say is, you get to see some new creatures, and I think that the creatures are really interesting. The way obviously we have like Galapagos Islands. There's different parts of our world that have a lot of interesting things, and also we don't know everything in the ocean. So I just like that. I like the creatures. I like seeing all the creatures and the animals and the life on Pandora. I think that's one of the most important aspects of these films, and how the Na'vi interacts with them. And I think I just need to see it again. Honestly, I think I just need to see it again. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I'm trying to wrap my head around something. It's because I want to talk about the ending. I wanted to talk about the ending so bad. I don't want to spoil anything. But what I'm gonna say is this. I think it wrapped up not very fast. But what I'm gonna say is this: when it got to the conclusion, or natural conclusion of certain characters and certain arcs, when the film ended, I feel like it was a bit abrupt. Even though the movie's long, I felt like the way they got the way the credits popped up on that screen was so abrupt after certain things just happened. I feel like that was a missed opportunity. I feel like I said, the 30 minutes I feel like he could have cut out. I feel like towards the end, he should have added he should have maybe moved some of that time from the beginning, put it to the end, and let us slowly ride out everything that just happened and then get to the credits. But I feel like it just boom, and I was like, all right, move on. Maybe there's another one, maybe not. But I feel like the ending could have just read out a little bit longer. It was pretty good. I don't normally do stars all the time, but if I had to do this out of 5 stars, I would give this a solid 4 to 5. I definitely enjoyed it. And I don't normally give stars on my reviews. Normally sometimes it comes to me, sometimes it doesn't, but that's just my idea. If someone has like, hey, what is it? And I was like, all right, fine, there you go. But I did enjoy it. It's my review for Avatar: Fire and Ash. Spread love and light, and take care. Let's sign off.